Hey guys, it's Keegan. I hope that you guys have been doing well. I would love for this video to be spread around a lot in terms of the Twin Flame community, because I think there's some stuff that I've said that other people just aren't saying, and stuff that needs to actually be addressed and talked about out in the open. So share it. I'm giving you full permission to share it wherever you want to put it. It's good to see you. I'm excited to be back doing YouTube videos. It's been a struggle trying to get to the point that I'm at right now, where I feel like the videos that I'm making are the things I want to talk about, the things that I want to interact with you guys about. Things have become a little bit more clear. I've actually thought about doing this video for a long time, and it just has not felt like the right time to do it, but now it does. And so I wanted to do my Twin Flame video. I feel like if you are someone on YouTube who does any sort of, like, if you fall into that spiritual community, which, am I trying to be in the spiritual community? I don't know. Honestly, the things that I talk about that I enjoy the most, that I actually think people enjoy the most in terms of my videos, are actually when I talk about relationships and just the struggles within relationships and the dynamics of relationships. So I think really I fall more into the category of someone who perhaps would be relationship advice or a relationship guru, a dating coach. That type of thing is more how I see myself. Twin Flames is definitely one of the topics that straddles those two communities between spirituality and relationships and dating. So just in case you're someone in 2020 who does not know what Twin Flames are, first of all, hi, I would love to meet you in person because you are so interesting to me at this point. If you don't know what Twin Flames are, I'm going to break down the concept for you fairly quickly because it's not actually that complicated of a concept. There is a theory, there's a spiritual theory. I'm not going to call it a fact, because the fact of the matter is religion and spirituality and how the world works and what the universe is and consciousness and is there a God, like all of that stuff, we don't know, people. We don't know. We have lots of thoughts, we have lots of ideas about it, but no one knows for sure. So let's just call it what it is. It's a theory, but it's a nice theory, and it's actually something that I think is really thought-provoking. You might have heard that this referred to as mirror souls. If you've heard that concept and you don't know what Twin Flames are, they're basically exactly the same thing, just called different names. And I want to emphasize this for you guys, okay? Because I think this is the place where most people do not start here when they're talking about Twin Flames. And I think this is the biggest mistake that people make, okay? So once a soul has ascended to a very specific level of its evolution and its ability to control its own energy, to keep itself from going into those lower vibrational states, it's ascended upwards. That's very important. Once a soul reaches that level, it may decide that it wants to split in half and go out to experience human lives as two separate people. Two people, half of one soul. This soul has evolved to the place where having half of itself taken away from it still allows it to not come into this world and just be completely and utterly out of control or completely and utterly terrified. So that's why it's important that the soul has done a lot of work, has lived several lives, has experienced lots of things, has a full understanding of itself, has done a lot of work to grow and heal and expand and develop its consciousness so that it can split and go into two people and have those two people be whole on their own. I do not buy into this notion that someone comes along into our lives and completes us or makes us whole. We are whole and fine on our own. If you never encounter your twin flame, if you never encounter that other half of yourself, you're not missing out. Your life doesn't suck. Nothing is wrong. That's the part where I really disagree with a lot of what's out there on YouTube. I heard tons of clicks. Fine. Those people have left. For those of you who are still with me, I just want to say again, you're fine as you are. You're fine on your own. You don't need to find that other half in order to have a great experience here. It is not written in stone that these halves of these souls come into this world, manifest as separate humans with the sole purpose of finding one another and falling in love and living in blissful happiness. That is something that has been layered on top of it, and I think that is actually fairly unhealthy. I think that it diminishes the fact that this spirit, this soul, felt so confident in itself that it knew that these two halves would be able to stand on their own, and that their life experiences and the things that they went through would eventually merge back together, and they would have doubled their efforts in this world. So that's why I have a fundamental issue with people who take the twin flame concept and they end up make them weaker, or make them sad, or they make it mean like I can't live my life until I've met this other half of me, or once this other half of me comes in, then things can actually start to be great. That is not what the purpose of it is. And if that's how you've looked at it, I really want to encourage you to change how you think about it. Here's the honest truth about this. If I split my soul, if there's someone else out there that has the other half of my soul, and that other person is not doing anything, they're not working on themselves, they're not out there having adventures, they're not out there living their best life, they're not forming connections, they're sitting at home moping, they're feeling sad, they're waiting for me to show up, I'm going to be angry with them when I show up. And I'm going to be like, what did you do with your half? Seriously. Like, we had an agreement. We were going to come here. We're both going to like kick butt, do the most that we could. And when we come together, it's going to be spectacular. That's how I look at it. And I don't understand why other people don't look at it that way. What do you accomplish if you come in and you just like twiddle your thumbs and you wait patiently until this person enters in? Now, I know not everyone has that mindset, but I've done videos about twin flame readings. I've had people who have emailed me about personal readings, trying to find out if they are a twin flame. I've dealt with this, and I know that there are lots of people out there who approach the twin flame concept from a very, very unhealthy place. And I wanted to do this video in hopes of like inspiring people to look at it differently. And I want to say two things here. Number one, not everyone on this planet is a twin flame. It's actually a very small percentage of people who will actually have that as something that they've experienced in terms of their own soul's journey. Most people come in full soul, 100% in one person. And it doesn't mean that those people can't have amazing connections, amazing spiritual connections, amazing spiritual relationships, because they can have soulmates. They can have the experience of finding a soulmate, which means another soul that has the same energetic signature as they do. It's a soul that resonates with them on a level that feels almost like they are family, or that they just get each other, they understand each other. So coming in as a full soul isn't a bad thing. And I think a lot of times people like look down on it. Like,
oh, well, you're not a twin flame. The most you can expect out of this life is to find a soulmate.
Sorry, it's not like twin flames are way up here and soulmates are like the dirt on the bottom of your shoe. That's not how it works. It's been elevated to that point, mostly because of YouTube, but mostly because people think that it's a fascinating concept. The fact of the matter is, you may or may not meet that other half. In terms of how the theory, in terms of the root theory about twin flames or mirror souls goes, there is an objective to eventually cross paths with each other, to come together at some point, to meet up. But that's not a guarantee. Life is full of choices and events, and there isn't any guarantee that you're going to end up in the same place at the same time. There isn't any guarantee that you're going to survive all the way through this life. I think part of what we come into this life with is the notion of free will and being able to make our own choices. It's totally possible that your twin flame might have accidentally fallen off of a truck and hit their head, and they don't remember anything. They don't remember they're supposed to come meet you. And if that's the case, then that's what that half of your soul is experiencing. It's still experiencing things. It's still experiencing that life, that reality. But odds are it's no longer on a path that's going to send it on a trajectory that's going to collide with you and lead to some huge, like fireworks in the skies, birds chirping, hearts coming out of your eye moment. But it doesn't mean that your half then has to just like mirror theirs. If anything, you should be focusing on making sure that what you're doing with your life, your half of that soul, that you're doing everything you can to have the best experiences, the best feelings, to heal and grow and explore and understand yourself and form connections and figure life out and do the best and the most possible that you can with the half that you were given. That's your responsibility. And if by some miracle that other half comes in and you do meet, It's going to be amazing. No. Sorry. That's the other trick to this. It's usually not all that epic. It's usually not that amazing. If anything, it actually kind of sucks. It's great for a little bit because you're like, oh, you get me, you understand me, you're part of me, I love you so much, everything's amazing, everything's just so fantastic here. And then they're the mirror of you. They know you, they get you, they know all the buttons to push. You are being forced to confront things about yourself that you don't want to admit. You're being forced to admit things about yourself that you don't want other people to know, and this person in front of you knows all of it, and they bring it up and they throw it in your face and they make you deal with it. So yeah, ultimately that's not a bad thing, but you know what it sounds like? It sounds a lot like those karmic relationships that everyone bashes. But you have to go through that with the twin flame. They're literally the other half of you. They know you intimately, just as you know them. And it creates a cycle where you are both pushing each other to such an extreme that usually you go away from each other. It just falls apart. It explodes. And then you go through this whole process where one of you decides they want the other one back and the other one doesn't. And then it switches back and forth. Twin flame relationships are very chaotic. They're a lot of work. That's why the only souls that agree to even attempt this are ones that are super evolved. Let's say you did find your twin flame. Let's say that you did meet that person. Let's say that you've had those experiences. You've had the big explosion. You've had them leave. You've done the running, chasing. And now you're watching this and you're like, well, Keegan, yeah, all of that, but I still want them. I still want that reunion. I still want them to come back and I want to have that blissful love with them for the rest of my life. How do I make that happen? The only way that can happen is if both of you during that time apart do a lot of healing work. A lot. And I got to be honest with you, most of you aren't willing to do that. Most of you get stuck in that sadness of that person leaving, of not having them. Most of you spend so much energy trying to find answers from people like me or other readers about when are they going to come back. They will come back when the two of you aren't going to create chaos and war anymore. And the only way that happens is if you stop focusing on that other half and focus on your half. You have to take all of those things that were triggers for the other half of that soul, for that other person. You have to take all those things that they were triggering inside of you and you have to figure them out. And that process might take years. If one side does it and the other side doesn't, it's not going to work. I know that this is not the rosy type of video that most people do about twin flames, because when you're doing a reading about twin flames, it's very easy to look at the cards and say, well, this person's going to come back. The cards say the person's going to come back. Okay, what's going to happen when they come back? Is it going to be more of the same? Are we going to fight all the time? Are we going to push each other's buttons? What have they been doing? Have they done anything to try to change themselves? Have I done anything? Is the work that I'm doing worth anything? Have I been on the right track? There are so many questions about what happens when the person returns that most people don't want to deal with. They don't want to ask them. They don't want to confront those things. They want to just stay how they are, not confront any of the pain, not deal with any of the trauma, not do the very thing that they decide. That it's the very thing. It was the reason that you decided to come into this world split apart, was so both of you could do the work and come back double. Yes, I believe in the concept of twin flames, but I think most people out there who are twin flames are really doing a bad job, a horrible job of actually trying to accomplish the things that they wanted to accomplish. I think there are a few examples of people who really went through it, dealt with the stuff, and were able to come back together and allow these two people to still be two distinct people with their own goals and their own passions and their own feelings and their own beliefs and their own needs, and to come together and to support and nurture that type of relationship. That is what I think, in all honesty, twin flame relationships are supposed to be about. It's not what most people are aiming towards when they are seeking out information about twin flames. And I had to be honest about it. That's why at the beginning I said I might get myself in trouble here, because I don't think a lot of people like hearing this perspective on it. But it's what I believe, and it's what I truly think is real. And I think there are so many people out there who have grasped onto the concept of twin flames, and they have so much hope that that is something that exists for them, and it just doesn't. And that's fine. It doesn't mean you're not going to find love. It doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It doesn't mean that you're not special. It doesn't mean that someone isn't going to come into your life and just bring so much happiness into it. That all of that stuff's totally possible, even if you're not a twin flame. And there are lots of people out there who are like, I know I'm a twin flame, I know it, and you know what, you are. But you're still dropping the ball on your partner. You're still not doing the work on yourself that you need to do. You're still not out there living and having experiences and growing. And if you are, then great, keep doing that. But I've dealt with a lot of you guys. I've had the experience of reading comments, having emails, doing readings, having conversations, getting messages. And most, I would say 80%, 85%, maybe 90% of those messages are from a place of sadness, victimhood, feeling like life is worthless until that person shows up. And I don't believe that. If you've had a reading with me, if you've done a personal reading with me, and your question was about twin flames, I can guarantee you, for those of you who are watching this who had personal readings with me, you can go into the comments and let people know. I always come from a place of, you know what, if this person doesn't come back, that's fine, you're going to be good. You have your own path, you have your own life, you have your own experiences, and you can make this life amazing with or without this other person. I always come from that perspective because it's what I believe to be true. So, with all that being said, you guys can @ me in the comments all you want. I'm sure people are going to have lots to say about this video. If you liked it though, I would love to hear from you as well. Please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. Share it with other people. I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever comes my way from this. If you want more information, if you want to talk to me one-on-one about twin flames, if you want a personal reading, if you want to do some sort of coaching work with me, you can reach out to me. Email is silkyandtarot@gmail.com. That's the best email to reach me. I would love to hear from you. I would love to help you navigate things and figure out how to do this journey the right way. I think that's a good place to stop this video. I just want to say to those who are still listening to me, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Thank you for encouraging me and checking in on me. It means a lot. It's actually very overwhelming to have so many people who I know care. And that's why I'm pushing myself to do these videos that are a little bit more me connecting with you, because I want to show you guys that I care about you as well. And if you were my friend in real life, this is what you would be encountering. I'm very direct and I don't hold back and I don't sugarcoat things. So I hope that you're enjoying getting to know me a little bit better. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.